here are the light effects we're gonna learn how to make in this video. Hello there, my inspirations. My name is Inspirasper, and today I am reviving a dead tutorial series. How fun is that? This is an idea I came up with a few years ago, and I just kind of stopped making it. But basically what I'm going to be doing is teaching you how to make some light effects on your Launchpad. I pulled up a few suggestions from videos where people asked me how to make a certain effect, and I'm just going to teach you how to make them. So if you have any ideas or suggestions on light effects that you'd like to be made, leave a comment on one of my videos with a timestamp. Say, how do you make this effect at blah time. And then optionally, if you like, you could, come up with a name for the light effect. Something catchy, something fun. Now, previously, I actually only made one light effect per video, but I didn't really like that pace. So today, we're gonna be learning how to make a few of them, a handful. I've selected a few, so let's learn how to make them. Oscar Nolden asks how to make this effect on my Paul Flint Savage light show. So let's learn it. I've already gone ahead and opened up an Ableton session, created a MIDI track for my light effects, and set it to my Launchpad, armed it for recording, created a MIDI clip, opened that MIDI clip, also make sure that this blue headphone icon is activated, that's gonna be important, and then now we're good to go. Learn how to make this effect. I like this one, I think it's pretty fun. The premise of this effect is that the light effect starts over here on these 8 buttons, whoop, whoop, and it kind of shoots over and kind of flops around, but in a way that looks kind of wavy, if that makes any sense. Boy, me describing these is gonna be fun. Okay, so at the very beginning of my MIDI clip, I'm gonna make this light effect. All I'm gonna do is draw in the path these lights take, and as I press these buttons, you'll see me jump from button to button to button, and you'll see on my screen that MIDI notes will be drawing in, and that's because as I press this button, I will press the right arrow key on my computer, and then in the next frame, I'll click this, press the right arrow key, right arrow key, right arrow key, and essentially I'm drawing in my path. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. First, I'm gonna have this button, I'm gonna have it shoot from here, down, across, and then land right here. So I went down here, the first 4 that I drew in, and then I'm gonna draw this here, 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 here. So now what I have is, oh boy, that's super slow. So I'm gonna highlight my notes and speed them up a little bit by clicking this button down here. Probably click it like 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's probably too fast. Wow, no, just kidding. I'm gonna zoom in, clicking down here, scroll over, zoom in like, or speed it up 2 times more, I don't know. Yeah, that's fine, that's manageable. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zoom in until my grid size is that of the size of these notes. So that way my notes, the speed remains consistent. Nailed it. Okay, now I'm actually gonna mirror that across here. So I'm gonna do the same thing from this note, travel down to here. So I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna click at the beginning of my light effect so that this orange bar is at the very beginning. Otherwise the timing will be offset, and I don't think we want that. So I'm gonna click here, and then just draw it all the way across. Just mirror that same exact effect. Now play what I have. Whoop. Okay, that's cool. Then I'm gonna do the same thing with these 2 notes. Have them shoot across, but only up to here, not all the way down. And then have them shoot down and then hit here. Essentially what I'm doing is having each corresponding pair of 2 shoot across and land at their opposite end, mirrored across here. So I'm gonna click again, make sure this orange bar, that's gonna be the last time I say that, just every time I start a new pattern, I wanna make sure I'm at the beginning of my effect. Click here, and then shoot across. And then land here. And now I'm gonna do the same thing with these 2, shoot from here, 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 here. Simple. So clip, boop, 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 boop. And then finally I'm just gonna have these 2 go to here. So start here, and then go to here. So now I play what I have. And then the next part is super simple. You just elongate the notes. It doesn't really matter how long, obviously. The whole point of this is that you can play around with it yourself to get something you like. So let's play this. That's probably too long. I'm gonna undo that and then maybe go to here. That seems about right. I'm gonna change the color now. I'm holding command and dragging, left clicking and dragging up and down on my Mac. I believe on Windows it's probably control is the equivalent. So I changed that to this color. That's not actually the color I wanted. I meant to do a blue. Oops. Here you go. Oh, I did the same thing. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Sure. Well, I suppose for the sake of remaining faithful to the video, I'll probably make it a purple that goes into a pink. So like this, and then I'm gonna copy this, holding Alt and clicking over, change it to like a pink. I'm gonna probably undo that, make it so that the purple stays on longer. So let's do this. Yeah, seems good enough. And then maybe make that pink go for less length. And then finally, I'm just gonna speed it up a bit because it seems a little slow. Do this. And that's more or less what I made in that video. I think the colors and the lengths of the light effects are different, but for the most part, it's there. Moving on, next light effect. So looking back at this one, it actually has a very similar concept to the one we just made, in that you just kind of turn it about 45 degrees. So let's make it. So first we start off with this bottom left corner, and then we draw it going across, shooting to these two corners, and then shooting down, finally ends up here. So let's start off with that. So then we should have something like this. Cool. So now I'm gonna click and make sure this orange bar is at the beginning of our light effect, and then press the right arrow key twice. So essentially, the next segment I'm making, it's gonna start 2 grid spaces after the segment we just made. And now this effect, what we're gonna make, just starts in this square, and then ends up in its equivalent over here. It does the same thing, but 1 square. It does the same thing as the last effect, but 1 square inward. So now I'm gonna make this. Now I'm gonna repeat the pattern for this inside square, starting at 5 spaces after our first effect. So click your orange bar, make sure it's at the beginning of your light effect, press the right arrow key 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then now start your effect. And then do the same thing with these inner 4, doot, 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 starting 7 spaces away from the beginning of your effect. So then we should be left with something that looks like this. Now, you may need to adjust the timings of these segments to your liking. I mean, again, it's all about what you want to make. Let's just, for the sake of staying faithful to the effect, let's change the color. I believe I used some sort of light blue, and then maybe a white, if I'm remembering right. And then it looks like this. Probably added a few more colors in there, so maybe like a different blue, maybe this color blue, and then the white. So then what we have is this. And then, of course, you can always speed it up. Something along those lines. It's not 100% faithful to what I originally made, but I do like this end result. Finally, onto the last effect for today. Zekin asks how to make this effect from my Kygo and Selena Gomez It Ain't Me Light Show. This one may look like the most complicated of today, but all things considered, it's not that bad. So let's start off by making the framework of the effect, and then from there we can add in the rainbows and make it look fancy. So we start in this bottom left corner. We shoot over 1 square, we then use these 2 squares, then these 3, then 4, and then using these 4, we then keep our pinky on this one, move these 3 over, then only move these 2 over, only move this 1 over, and then kind of repeat, but mirror it over. So I'm only move this guy, these 4. Then you only do the 3, only do 2, 1, 1. So now what we have is this. Okay, and now we just add the rainbow. So change the color of this, start off with a red, or you can start off on the other end of the rainbow. Maybe do start off with a purple or blue, something like that. And then hold Alt, left click and drag over 1 time segment or frame, whatever you like to call it. And then change this to the next color of the rainbow. So in this case, I'll do an orange, and then just repeat. So maybe next color could be a yellow. And feel free to play around with the colors to your liking. You don't necessarily have to use every color in between. It could be beneficial to skip certain colors. It could be beneficial to use every single color. Kind of just depends on how fast you want the effect to be for whatever effect you're trying to make. I think the main takeaway from this is just kind of play around with whatever you want. Experiment with your own ideas. Look at what we have right now. Okay, now I should have a full rainbow going from red to blue. No purple, but that's fine. And then to stay faithful to the effect in the video, I'm actually gonna go back downwards. So I went from red to blue in the rainbow, now I'm gonna go from blue to red. Unfortunately, you can't just reverse the light effect you made. That's not quite how this works. So you're gonna have to do the Alt and drag over again once downward. So what I'm left with is an effect that takes that path that we made, goes from red to blue, blue to red. So a full rainbow up and down. Well, again, minus purple, but who likes purple anyways? All right, I'm gonna speed up this effect. Good enough. And then I'm gonna actually just copy and paste this effect right after itself. So it just repeats, repeats, repeats. Which, for the sake of the video, how I made it, it's an effect that's kind of like, it looks like it pulses, kind of shoots out the rainbow. Now I think this is a little faster than what I used in the video, so it doesn't look as smooth. But overall, like I said, the concept is there. It looks similar, right? So that'll do it for today's video. I had fun making this. It was actually kind of fun reviving an old series that I kind of put off making for a while. So if you have any ideas, suggestions on light effects you'd like to see, leave a comment. Maybe not necessarily on this video. You can go to any of my light shows and say, hey, how do you make this effect at this time? And also, if you make a video on it, I'm gonna call it the whirly gig, or I don't know. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.